Guys, if you're tuning in, I'm early, 8 minutes early. We're going to do this at 7 o'clock Central Time. I'm just getting the stream going to allow people to come in a little bit earlier than normal so that we have a full house at 8 o'clock whenever we go live. So we'll be live at 8 o'clock. I am not going to change and put anything better on. This is my work clothes. I'm working in my shop. That's where we're at right now. So it's hot, and I'm going to go grab me a cold beer in a minute. Hope you guys have a chance to grab a cold beer. We will be back in 7 minutes, and we will be live. See that apparently I need to. So yeah, we'll be back here, or I'll be back here at 8 o'clock. Hopefully you guys will be too in 7 minutes, roughly 6-7 minutes, and we will go live then. I'm kind of looking over some notes right now and looking over some things to talk about. If you guys have anything specific that you'd like to talk about, let me look over my notes. Let me go grab another beer, or actually it's my first beer. I can't drink anymore whenever I'm working or hot, and I'm done for the evening. So about to crack open a cold one. So let me go grab me a koozie for my beer and grab me a beer. You guys grab one, and I will be back here shortly. If anybody else comes in the room, those of you that are already in here, if you don't mind, let them know that I will be back on in 5 or 6 minutes at 7 o'clock sharp Central Standard Time. Since I won't be here, and I don't have a note. Usually I try to put a note out saying that I'll be live at whatever time. So somebody comes in the room, if you don't mind, let them know while I'm going. I'm going to leave this going so that we don't lose our stream and so that we can pack the house by the time I get back. See you guys in a second. Guys, hope you get a cold one. Yes, I better represent here if I can. Hope you guys got a cold one. Tonight's beer of choice is Yuengling Light. Okay, I got a couple, one more minute left. Let's give one more minute, let a few more people kind of dive into the room, and then we'll get started. It's a lot going on, guys. A lot in the world and around here. All right, it's almost 7 o'clock. One more swig. Oh yeah, that'll sit right nicely on my chop saw there. Nice, using my chop saw as an end table. All right, guys, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. It's been a while. Been a good while since I've been able to do some live streams on Friday nights. I definitely miss the live streams on Friday nights. So much going on. If you guys follow me on social media, stuff that I'm working on, namely my book. I've been working on a book for quite some time now, a good few years now. Actually, I've had ideas for several books and kind of jotted them down. It's one of those things where if you don't start working on those books, I mean, they're not going to write themselves, and nobody's going to write them for you, or at least you can't afford to have somebody else write them for you. So I just decided probably earlier this year, I had the whole concept for the book, and I had already done a lot of the research, so I just kind of re-upped my research a little bit. And the book itself is on killers, and more notably, the media calls them mass shooters. I don't call them mass shooters. I don't call them mass shooters throughout the entire book, simply because, and I explain that a mass shooter and politicians and the anti-gun enterprise out there to attempt to make sure that guns or firearms out or the concept of it is included in something bad that's happening, to get emotions kind of fired up. So every time you hear anything revolving or involving guns, you automatically think something negative now. But the last time you heard the word shooting was whenever you heard about the last mass shooting, and it was an emotional thing. People were crying, people were upset, were dead people. So it's an opportunity for the anti-gun people out there to subliminally, but consciously on their part, make people use any kind of term involving guns in a very negative light, so that it's always seen like that when you talk about it. So I don't call them that. I call them rampage killings. I don't even call them rampage shootings. I call them rampage killings. So anyway, that's what the book is on. And you guys may have known, those of you that might be have followed me for quite some time, the concept for this book really evolved about 3 or 4 years ago. You know, I consider myself a relatively decent person. I care about people. I respect people. I respect people who respect me. Let me put it that way. I don't respect everybody. Not everybody deserves respect. Let's be honest. So I was noticing, you know, whenever we'd have a rampage killing and there's a fly buzzing around me, I'm sure it's because I stink, guys, and that's not a joke. I've been working in my shop. I noticed that anytime there was a rampage killing, everybody would come out, and everybody, both sides, political parties. It's not, you know, even though one political party pushes a lot more with the anti-gun stuff, both of them are pretty guilty of the same stuff. But I would notice that they would get out there and cry and, you know, whine and the crocodile tears and all that kind of stuff. And I truly believe they were. I don't believe these people. I don't believe the politicians at that level in Washington, D.C. truly care about us. I honestly don't. I know that's an extremely cynical look at those people, but I truly feel like they think they're in a different class and they don't have any respect for us. So, I mean, I've got none for them. So I would see them come out and say all these things, and they would say, you know, how many lives are too many lives? You know, when are we going to have enough of this? When are we going to do this? When are we going to do that? You know, why won't anybody do this? Why doesn't this party or this group of people, or why don't gun owners have the courage to do something with common sense? You know, why can't we do common sense gun control? And I hear that every time, and it bothered me. And I was like, you know, I kind of stepped back for a minute, you know, and I was like, well, maybe somebody does need to look at this. So I did. Now, I knew it wasn't guns. I knew guns weren't the problem. So that's why I started looking, because I thought to myself, if they think that guns truly are the problem, either they're not looking in the right place or they're purposely trying to mislead us. And boy, did I open a can of worms. I put a video out 3 or 4 years ago about what I found at the time. And when I found it, it just grew and grew and grew. It grew so much bigger more, and I was really perplexed and kept doing research. And I found that there were 3 things that were most common in rampage killings. That was person. Now, granted, the one thing that's not part of the 3 is there's still a little bit of a genetic thing in there. In other words, not everybody that has the 3 traits that I outline in my book are going to grow up and be rampage killers, obviously. So there is a little bit of a genetic component there, if you will. So we take the person that is born, all right? They're in a broken home. It's either a fatherless home, it's a home where they're abused, something that makes it a, quote, broken home, in my opinion. A home that has some negative aspects to it. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting that there are perfect homes out there. As I point out in the book, there are no perfect homes out there. I don't care how perfect somebody thinks someone else's childhood might have been or whatever. Everybody's childhood has its ups and downs. My point in saying that is that I'm looking at people who have really bad home life, like either the dad's not around or wasn't present, the mom is a hooker. You know what I mean? Something that's really, really not normal and a little bit out of character. On top of that, those people typically who are in those broken homes, especially if they're really negatively impacted by it, they will typically go on to have unusual social skills, be a little bit timid. Therefore, they end up getting picked on. They end up getting bullied because they don't interact as much. Maybe they're a poor kid and they don't dress right. Something that makes them get bullied. So their behavior at home now makes them act a little bit differently at school or wherever. So now they get bullied. Maybe they just get bullied because they look different or whatever. So that's the second component. First is broken homes, then it's getting bullied. And then whether you're from a broken home or you get bullied or both, I really tie into some interesting stuff from back in the early 2000s when the No Child Left Behind program came along. And it was George W. Bush that put this into place. And I tie a whole lot of stuff back to that. Namely, or more namely, is medication. That's the third component of a child being medicated. We are medicating children at alarming rates right now, and we're medicating them with drugs that have black label warnings on them, black box warnings, and they are rewiring these kids' brains. Now, I'm not suggesting that all drugs are bad. What I'm suggesting is all children should not be on all drugs. And that's what's happening, is that once that No Child Left Behind came along and we started doing standardized testing, these teachers started recommending all these drugs because they immediately said, if I'm getting graded and my pay is going to be determined based on what these kids' testing is, the teachers know what the tests are going to be about. So they started teaching these children based on what the test was going to be at the end of the year. So instead of teaching them normal fundamental stuff that you and I learned, normal math, normal social studies, civics, history, things like that, they basically just ignored all the other fundamental topics out there and started teaching these children just what's going to be on the test. And the ones that didn't grasp it fast enough, they suggested that the parents put them on mood-altering drugs. Then we started messing these kids' minds up. And if we took them off, in a lot of cases, the drugs have way worse side effects if you pull them off of the drugs. So that's essentially what the book is about. But let me tell you, you talk about kicking an ant pile. I started doing more and more research, and this research has been over a 2 or 3 year period of time. And let me tell you something. This book is going to piss some people off. It's not just me doing like I'm doing right here, where I'm just standing there ranting about something. It's not just me complaining about, broken homes, bullied kids, or over-medicated kids. It's not that at all. Of course, I do some of that. But I include all my research in this book. I think I counted 254 footnotes in the book. That's 254 sources that I call out so that you and anybody else that reads the book can go verify, confirm, or form your own opinion based on the same research that I read. I make it available to everybody out there. So it was a lot of work to make sure that I gave everyone credit that I got information from, but at the same time, I really want to be able to provide people that same bit of information that I looked at to come to these same conclusions. And it's not just about me sitting here ranting and complaining either. I have really technically 2 chapters, but for sure, if you want to look at it this way, 1 whole chapter that's just on suggesting what we can do differently to try to make things better, to try to make it better for our kids, to be better parents, better neighbors, better teachers, better friends. I try to point out that, look, I'm not here just to complain about what's going on. I'd like to offer some solutions. I'm no psychiatrist. I'm no psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I don't know how to fix this. But I do know that what I would suggest is way better than what's going on right now, because nothing's going on right now. Just because I have a problem with the anti-gun people talking about rampage shootings that they call them, or mass shootings, or school shootings like they call them, I have a big problem with that. Sometimes I was finding that I would get so pissed off whenever they would start using all the wrong terminology. They would start calling AR-15s, AK-47s, and AK-14s, and all kinds of stupid stuff like that. And probably like a lot of you guys, it would eat at me and it would just piss me off. So I found myself kind of getting hardened to it. Anytime that there was a rampage killing, I won't say that I didn't care, because that's certainly not the case. I'm not that kind of person. But I found that I was getting a more tougher exterior, where I just, I was dismissing so much of what I was hearing, because so much of it was bullshit. It just was. And you get tired of it. You can only take so much of that before you kind of close up on it. And I kind of had to make a conscious effort to myself to say, wait a minute, just because these people are politicizing these events to try to make money off of it, and that's what they're doing. I point that out in the book. I point out the dollars that they're making. Bernie Sanders made $1 million in 2019. I believe it was 2019, either 2019 or 2018. Bernie Sanders made $1 million off of the anti-gun people out there. They made $1 million worth of contributions to Bernie Sanders. People are getting rich. I say $1 million, I'm sorry. It was 1.2 or 1.3 million. That's all outlined in the book. I spell all that out. I tell you who's getting rich off of these rampage killings, and I tell you who's not going to try to change anything in these rampage killings because they don't want to. It's like a carpenter wanting all the wood to go away. You don't see any carpenters out there who are talking about not doing deforestation or whatever they call it. You don't have carpenters out there standing in front of these big trees so that these companies, these milling companies, won't come through and cut them down. Because you know why? Because that would be the end of their livelihood. But we have these if you want to call them mass shooter people out there faking all these tears and all that are acting like they care because they're ginning up fear. They're scaring people. Look, it's not even as bad as they say it is. It's near as bad. I point that out in the book as well, that these guys are crying wolf over things there's way worse things to worry about out there than somebody shooting up a public place where guns aren't allowed. That's something I point out also, that these people are purposely targeting gun-free zones. If you look at where all these people are being killed at, anytime there's a number of people that are killed, it's in a gun-free zone. So I point all that out. It's a really interesting book. Look, I know, and I'm going to try to sell it. It's my book. I want to sell it. But I know you guys are thinking, oh yeah, he wrote the book. He's just trying to sell it. Yeah, I am. But I do think it's a good read. I wouldn't, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Take a sip of my beer first. I'm going to get real right here. I started writing this book. When I say writing it, I've been jotting notes down. When I talk about me saying, all right, I'm going to write the book, now's the time. It wasn't but a few months ago. While I've been researching the hell out of it for the last few years, I didn't start typing on this thing probably till March or April. When I started on it, I probably worked on it for a month and a half, something like that. And look, guys, if you hear some noise out here, I do apologize. Hey, buddy, my little boy's right here. If you guys don't know, my son has special needs, so he's not trying to be disruptive. He's just out in the yard, in the backyard playing. So, again, don't judge him. He's not. He's just, he doesn't understand. So anyway, when I started actually writing the book, like literally typing it into my computer, this just doesn't. It ain't working out. I wasn't being overly critical. It's just that the book wasn't clicking. I just didn't have a good feeling. It didn't flow. I'd go back and read a page and I would delete half of it. Like, that sucks. One chapter to the next didn't flow. I was just like, man, I'm not cut out for this. This is not, and I love to write. I mean, I'm a word geek. I've always liked to write. I was one of the kids in school, middle school, high school. I loved writing. If there were any money in being an English major, I would have been an English major, but there's no money in it. I'm not stupid, but I loved English. I just did. And I know that sounds weird because so many people hated English. I liked all of it, all the parts of it. I didn't like literature. I don't like reading Hamlet and bullshit like that. I like the actual writing and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, as I'm writing, I'm not feeling it, It's just, it's like I feel like I'm struggling not to write it, but to make it make sense and to be able to convey the message that I was trying to convey to the person who's going to be reading the book. I was like, well, this does not feel like an enjoyable read to me. And I kind of backed away from it. And you might even be able to go back and look at some of my YouTube videos, because then I started kicking out a few more videos, like that, I just need to go back and do some of the stuff that I enjoy doing. Then we got inundated with rains over here in Louisiana. South Louisiana has had 40 or 50 inches of rain this year. It's an unbelievable amount of rain we've had. So I'm stuck home. I work in the construction business. So I'm stuck at my house. So it's like everything that I was missing. I think I was trying too hard, to be honest with you. I think I was trying to be something probably that I'm not. And I think you'll see that in this book. Those of you that watch my videos, I'm just a regular guy. There's nothing special about me. I do normal stuff, just like I get up in the morning. If it's cold, I drink coffee. If it's not, I drink water. I get up, throw my work boots on, and I run to my office to, line out some, my guys and all that, or we go to a job site to build, I do everything that every blue collar worker out there does. And it was finally to a point where I said, you know what? I'm going to ignore what everybody else, the way they write, because you know what? You can get kind of tied up in that. I was getting to a point where I would look at other people's books. I would look at other topics. I have a friend who's an author also. So I would go look at how he did his books. And again, I was trying to make his style fit what I was doing. Dude, when I finally just got rid of that and ignored that and said, I'm going to write this book the way I talk, you can almost hear my Southern accent in this book whenever you read it. And I don't use all the proper terms either. I purposely use the words that I use in everyday life. When I made the decision to just do it like that, guys, it started flowing. It worked for me. The book made sense. I rewrote half of it in record time, it seemed like. And everything was better. So Best thing I ever did was ignore how everybody else does it, and I just said, screw it. I'm paying for it, I'm making this, I'm doing it my way, so I'm gonna do it my way. I don't have anybody telling me how it needs to be done, so why am I trying to do it a certain way where it's not comfortable for me? And that was the ticket. And I'm so proud of this book now. Guys, I uploaded it last night. I know this sounds like a big commercial for the book. I'll get off of the book here in a second. I do apologize. But I uploaded everything last night. I uploaded the cover. Let me show you guys the cover. I want y'all to see this. I love the cover. Let's see here. See if you can see this. There you go. And it's on a lot of my social media. You'll see it. I don't know if you can see that. It says how to make a monster and why no one cares. And at the bottom down here it says a sensible look at rampage killers. Guys, I'm proud of this. I'm very proud of this. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. And I'm excited to share this with you guys, because I know a lot of you have been asking me. Oh, and a bunch of you guys have been emailing me on social media or messaging me about pre-orders. I will have books in hand probably in the next week, the following week, because the publisher is going to pound these things out pretty fast. I'm going to try to sign as many of them as I can, but I'm working with a team on a website that's going to be dedicated just to selling this book. And when I get it available, I'll put it out there. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a little section to where if you want me to autograph it, and I say autograph it, that sounds so lame, but if you want me to write something in it, I'm happy to do that. I'm not one of these kind of guys that charges for my signature, because my signature, unless I'm writing it on a check, that the check's worth something at that point. But I want to personalize these, because I mean, I have some really cool books of mine of various people that I've met in my lifetime. Vinnie Paul autographed Dimebag Darrell's book for me at his bar up in Dallas when we went over there to hang out with him one time, and that means so much to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm trying to create a little section on my website, rather, to where when you place an order, you can tell me what you want me to write. If you got somebody you want me to write it to, just tell me who you want me to write it to, and I'll do that as well. So if you want to give them as gifts or whatever, but it's going to be cool, guys. You guys are going to, I'm telling you, you're going to like it. You're going to be surprised that a hillbilly like me can write something like this. It's going to shock y'all. I do not have a ghostwriter. I wrote every single word in this thing by myself. Friends that helped me edit it. When I finished writing the book, I sent it to one of my good friends, Greg Askew, over in San Antonio, Texas, and I sent it to one of my other good friends up in Rochester, New York, Laura Evans, and they both kind of looked at it. I needed to make sure grammar was corrected, whether it be punctuation or spelling, word usage. Apparently I have a really bad problem with the word roll. I found that Greg had to probably tell me, probably in 10 different instances, that I had used the wrong word roll, R-O-L-L or R-O-L-E. I was using them just haphazardly, like when I was writing, I was just banging away. So I was using the wrong words. So it's kind of funny because Greg just kept having to tell me, you got the wrong one. And look, when I would proof it, I never caught those. I never saw them one time. It was crazy when he would point it out. I was like, holy crap, how did I not see that? Anyway, guys, I'm looking forward to it. A lot of fun, a lot of cool stuff going on. Hey, are you guys going to the NRA annual meeting in Houston, Texas? I ask because I'm going to be over there, and this is only a 2.5 hour ride for me. I'm going to bring a bunch of books. I'm going to bring a bunch of other stuff. Some stuff I'll just be giving away, and we'll do a couple of them here on the live stream tonight. I've got some these are Mission First Tactical magazines that they made for me. Put my logo on it. I'm going to bring me a small box of these or put them on my backpack, and hopefully you guys will be there. Every now and then I'll find somebody to give these away until they're gone. I will be at the Dirty Boar, and this is the stuff that they're going to have. Be at their booth, by the way. Dirty Boar makes a CLP, and they make a gun cleaner. The CLP, I'm a big fan of this. You probably see this in a lot of my videos. I use this a lot. Good CLP. It's one of the biodegradable type or whatever, bio-friendly, AOC approved type cleaners, and I'm just a big fan of that. I use it on everything. Seriously, where is it? I had a small. This isn't, these are actually going to get it. But these, see how rusty they are? I had a pair of channel locks about like this, an actual channel lock brand, that I used the CLP on to free it up the other day because I was trying to get, if you guys have ever done any kind of plumbing work, you know how when you put your glue on the tops of those lids, the OT lids or whatever, they just get locked. Open it up, and I grabbed those channel locks and I used the Dirty Bore CLP on it. Put it on there, sprayed it on two sides of it, cranked it up. I even tapped the lid and put some on the lid, and it helped free the lid up. So I use this stuff for everything. I figure if sponsors and are going to send you stuff, I'm going to see what all it can do. And the Dirty Bore stuff is pretty versatile. I'm sure all of it is. You know, I'm not saying it's, you know, so that much different than everything else, but I'm just a big fan of it. And these are good guys. To align myself with people in this industry that are good people. There's enough opportunity out there for everybody, so you don't need to really partner up with everybody. If you have somebody that's a bit of an asshole, stay away from them. It's not worth the money. It's not worth what you might get out of them. So it's easier just to align yourself with good people. That way you feel good about the whole partnership all the way through. And I feel good about, you know, talking about their products because you guys hopefully will buy some of their products, you know, if that's the case. They actually, these guys, Advanced Warrior Solutions is who owns this company. You might have seen some of their bags in some of my videos. Look out for their stuff. I'll be doing more stuff with their bags here coming up. One new sponsor, and it's kind of a new old sponsor, and I'm going to get off of this real quick, go on some other stuff, is Courage. You guys might know, I've done a video before on CBD oil. I've had like tennis elbow real bad in my left arm, like real bad. And that's the only thing that ever got rid of it. Of course, the cortisone shot got rid of it, but I don't want to keep pounding my joints with cortisone shots. Well, this is a company, Courage, and it's 100% or 0%, 0% THC. This is mainly being made for law enforcement, military, guys that may have some kind of an issue with a drug test. You know, a lot of the THC that you're going to have out there in your CBD, it can show up if it's, you know, if it's not formed properly, or if it's not done properly, or if there's a buildup of it, or if you take a whole bunch of it, kind of like non-alcoholic beer. If you drink a whole bunch of it, you could get a buzz. You know, the recommended or the legal level of THC and CBD oil is like 0.03 or something like that. But I mean, if you drank a 55-gallon drum of it, you're probably going to get a little bit of a, you know, get kicked on your piss test or whatever. These guys at Courage, knowing that they're going to be first responders and people who might be nervous and don't want to take a chance on taking something that's got any THC in it, they've developed something that's 0% THC. So I like that too. You know, I've never been into drugs or anything like that. I don't want to get popped on a drug. Of course, I own my own business. I'm not going to get popped on a drug test, but I mean, I don't want it in my system. There's too much crap going on these days right now with people trying to limit gun use, gun ownership, and the purchase of guns. The last thing I need to do is for this stupid government of ours to come up with some new policy that drug tests everybody before they, of course, that would take away their voting base. And of course, they would never actually do that. But what if something like that ever happened and I got caught in it? I just don't need to walk off into that and have that threat hanging over my head for whatever reason. I know by taking a 0% THC product that I'm legit, and my elbows are still going to be fine, and all of my joints are going to be fine. It worked, guys. One thing I've noticed that's kind of a byproduct of it when I take that CBD oil is I sleep better. It's a calmer sleep. It doesn't put me to sleep. It just, I don't wake up throughout the night. If I wake up to take a piss or whatever, it's normal, but it's not like, it's not a, I feel like it's a deeper sleep. Again, it doesn't make you sleep. I think it just calms you. I'm sure there's medical reasons for it, why it does what it does. A lot of things going on. David Chipman. From what I understand, they're still going to try to sneak through a vote on David Chipman. I say sneak through because they're keeping this as quiet as they possibly can. They know that the general public, and actually Republicans, wasn't there an impeachment, articles of impeachment already put forth for David Chipman? Now that's, for those of you that may not know, that's the proposed ATF head or AFT head, as Joe Biden would put it, that has been put forth to try to force through. There's been so much pushback from politicians, from the general public, that they know their guy is kind of on borrowed time, but they still want him. Look, what better guy, you talk about the Fox Garden, the hen house, what better guy to have out there heading up an organization that's supposed to be unbiased, that's supposed to want what's best. I know this is a mission statement that's never been spoken over there, but they're supposed to want what's best to keep people safe or whatever. I'm sure they have a mission statement that's nice and gushy. But clearly they're looking for a guy out there to tote the water for Joe Biden. Joe Biden knows that no one in the ATF is elected. So nobody in the ATF can be yanked out of there once they're put in place, unless it's by Joe Biden. Joe Biden's not going to do that, or whoever the handlers are for Joe Biden. I don't think Joe Biden is calling the shots. I truly kind of feel sorry for Joe Biden, because I don't think you can. There are times when you see the look in his eye and you just wonder what the hell he's thinking. What the hell am I doing here? So whoever's calling his shots for him, that's who they want. They want David Chipman in there to wreak havoc on honest, law-abiding gun owners. They want him to do all the bidding and all the stuff that he did at the Gabby Giffords Foundation. They want him doing all that stuff. They want him banning AR-15s, which he has openly stated that he wants. They are trying to push this man through. So keep an eye out. I heard some rumblings the other day that there are some secret meetings going on to try to get this pushed through. Look, guys, while I don't have the chance or the time, because I'm trying to get this book banged out, let me say this real quick. You guys probably already follow these guys, but there's some folks out there putting out some really good information. Guns and Gadgets. He's very timely, very, very timely. Jared puts out, probably daily. He's got his finger on the pulse big time. Oh gosh, what is, there's two other guys. There's the Armed Scholar out in California. That's his handle on YouTube, the Armed Scholar. And then, oh gosh, Johnny, what's Johnny's last name? Is it Johnny Appalachia, I think? I follow him. I don't see his notifications on YouTube. So I wonder if I follow him on YouTube. Where I follow him, I see him on Instagram. So I click his links in his bio to follow his stuff. My point, guys, is if you'll go follow guys like that, again, I think it's Johnny Appalachia, Armed Scholar, and Guns and Gadgets. Those guys are real timely as far as putting their information out there. Now, I'm not telling you to stop watching my stuff. I just know that I haven't been able to put as much content out recently just because I've been so bowed up with this other stuff. I'm hoping to get back into that now that I'm getting the book out there. I think I'll have more time to start banging more videos out and probably being a little bit more in tune with what's going on as far as current events in the gun industry. But check those guys out. I don't want to be the reason why, a bunch of us are not getting the information that we need to have, because there's some guys out there, and even when I'm putting my stuff out, I'm still not as good as them. They put their stuff out fast. I told Jared with Guns and Gadgets one time, I was like, dude, I don't know if this offends you or not, which it didn't, thank God, but I said, when I see notifications from you, I go see what the heck you're talking about to see if it's something I need to put a video out on. Because, he's so timely with it, I won't even see it on a Facebook feed or anything from somebody else. It'll come in from him. So, he is so quick on his data and getting it out there. So I like that. And I think it's important that we get information fast, because I truly believe, I know a lot of people out there feel like we don't have a voice. We do have a voice. We really do have a voice. I know it's trying to be muted, but we still have a voice. It's not completely muted is because we have that voice and we haven't been able to be silenced. If we continue to react as quickly as we can whenever some of these stupid little knee-jerk things come out, when there's some kind of stupid bill that comes out, whenever there's somebody that comes out and does something, whether it's putting forth a David Chipman or something like that, whether it's Joe Biden saying something stupid, whether it's these courts that are trying to uphold or push through something else that's very anti-gun, the faster we react, I feel like is better, because I do feel like those people that are trying to call those shots and make things harder for us, when they see how that we're on the draw, I think that's very, very critical. because they don't have the time to build up any kind of real following or any kind of support or anything like that on their end, because we nip it in the bud quick. That's important. I think timing is everything everybody consumes their media so fast and their news so fast now that I think you have to react just as fast to make sure that sometimes you might just shut them up, immediately shut them up, and they move on to something else. So just know this, they're never resting. The anti-gun movement does not rest. And again, I state that in my book. They've got millions of dollars. They got plenty of money. They actually outspent the NRA a couple of years ago. I think it was in 2018 in the voting cycle, the midterm cycle in 2018. They outspent the NRA. Now, I know the NRA is not what they used to be. I get it. But the NRA is still strong as far as the amount of lobbying dollars that they have. They outspent the NRA in terms of lobbying to Congress in 2018. That's big. That is big. That shows you how much support and how much funding that they have. So that's why it's so important, because I truly see that side, that movement, and let's face it, I see that business, because that's big, big, big business. That's massive business. The anti-gun business is a very profitable business and a super fast growing business. I also point that out in my book. So everything is going to point back to my book, but I really do. I mean, I've done so much research on that stuff, and it's just like, you look at it and you're like, wow, if I didn't have a conscience, I would start an anti-gun organization. I would start a 501(c)(3). I would be the next big anti-gun movement if I didn't have a conscience, just like a church. If I didn't have a conscience, I'd start a church up and make gazillions of dollars, like a lot of those liars do out there that you see on TV that are punching people in the forehead and things like that. I have a conscience, so I'm never going to be a successful church owner or a successful anti-gun movement owner. Those are things that I'll just never be able to do because, my core won't let me do something like that. That's just too deep and too dirty for me to get to. Anyway, guys, NRA show. Man, if you guys come, I would really like to see y'all there. Again, I'll be at the Advanced Warrior Solutions booth. Phil, those guys are going to be out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think they have some stuff to give away. I know I'll have some stuff to give away. I actually ordered a bunch of t-shirts. Let's see here. I want you guys to check this out. I'm bringing a bunch of these with me. Do I not have it in here? Be upset if I don't have those. Well, I can show you the logo. I don't have a picture of the t-shirt right here. This is going to be the t-shirts, a whole bunch of them that I got that I'm bringing to NRA. I'm a big Metallica fan, so that's I have a new t-shirt that has my logo written in the Metallica font. So that's what I plan on. I'm bringing a bunch of those t-shirts to the Houston NRA show. I think it's September 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I believe. Pretty sure that's when it is. That's going to be in Houston at the George R. Brown Convention Center. That's going to be a lot of fun. Let me look. I'm going to give some shout outs real quick, guys, because I'm going to be wrapping it up here in a little while. In fact, let me go through some of this real quick. Oh, wow. Let me do this. Tim Fowler, I don't know, I forget what they call them, but Tim Fowler donated some cash to me. Guys, I absolutely don't expect that. Absolutely don't expect that. Don't ever think that, but I am completely and totally humbled whenever somebody does stuff like that. Well, look at this. I was about, it's Johnny B, okay. Johnny B, also, I didn't realize he was on the live stream. Johnny Appalachia is who I called him, but Johnny B is his handler. He donated some cash. Wow. Now that's cool. A YouTuber comes on here and actually donates some cash to me. That's neat. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. I did not know you were on here. I would have called you out for being on the live stream. Thank you, sir, if you're still on the stream. Much appreciated. Very humbled that you would do that. But to all of you guys. Let me go back here on some of you guys. I shared the CBD video with my mom. She's able. I thought it may help her feel better. She didn't get it though. Darn. I wish she would have. Look, guys, I'm right next to my main AC unit for my house. So if it gets a little loud every now and then, that's why, and I do apologize for that. Let's see here. I'm going to do some shout outs real quick, guys, for those of you that have been hanging in and grabbing another beer. I shouldn't be drinking that beer because I'm super thirsty right now. Need a bottle of water. Richard Portella, Little Klondike Outdoors. Good to see you guys. United States Colonel Marine M56, Smart Gunner. Jimmy James, that Cajun guy, Glock Magic 88. Let's see, Chris, is that Eicher or Elcher? It's hard for me to see. My eyes are horrible. Edge of the South. Let's see, Merc 84. Ishmael Wilson. And I know there's a lot of you guys in here. Farmer's Son, Prepping. Look, guys, if there's any videos that you want me to do stuff or products on, let me know. I am excited about this. This is going to be cool. This is a new level 4 armor that Spartan Armor has. Spartan Armor, I don't do business with them as far as they're not a sponsor or anything like that, but I am friends with these guys. This is not paid or anything like that. These guys did send me this armor. I did not pay for it. I'm trying to be truthful with you guys, but I don't receive money from them. They sent me this brand new level 4 armor. Right now, because of COVID and everything else, the NIJ ratings that the government does for armor, they're not doing them right now. Or if they're doing them, they're extremely slow, but I don't think they're doing them. I think that's what these guys were explaining to me. So this armor, even though it's a new armor, it's a ceramic armor. Even though they've got this new armor out and it is a type of level 4, there's not another level that they can add because the NIJ guys are not testing anything right now. So they basically put this out as a level 4 and they're calling it the Hercules. Now, most of your level 4s, because they are ceramic, they can't take, or they're certainly not recommended for multiple hits, because once you get a hit in a particular area, if you get another hit right close by there, it can actually go through, it can penetrate. If it hit in another part of the armor, it's usually pretty good. This Hercules level 4, it's not going to take a barrage of hits. It will take up to a 30-06 hit, and I'll prove that. But it's still not expected to take endless amounts of hits. But it's going to take more hits than your normal level 4 would. As you can see, it's thick, it's ceramic, but it's relatively light. It's a little bit lighter than your normal level 4. As you can see, it's curved. It's got the multi-curves to it. It's not curved just in one or two ways. It's curved in several different ways. So that's actually going to fit your torso a whole lot better. It's curved this way as well. Let's see. Okay, you see how it's curved that way. So it's going to fit your torso between being curved like that to get your chest and that to get your gut. This is going to be a really comfortable armor if you're having to wear it, mainly because it fits your body better and it's a lot lighter, especially if you're going to compare it to steel. I know they have their different benefits, steel versus ceramic, but this is going to be something that if it's not too blazing hot, I think the heat index down here in South Louisiana was 105 today. If it's not quite that tomorrow, I may get out there and do some testing on this, some more testing. I've shot up one of the plates already just to try to do some testing and prepare for it ahead of time, and was really impressed with this. I do know that they have a level 4 Ares out there. I saw that Spartan Armor had, and I spoke briefly with one of the guys from Spartan Armor the other day, and I was like, hey, is that the same as the Hercules that I have? He said, no, it's different still. So they technically are going to have 3 different kinds of level 4 armor. Pretty good armor. And look, these guys make awesome armor. Their plate carriers are unbelievable too. You'll see the plate carriers in my video. But I'm a big fan of these guys. Again, they don't pay me, but they do send me stuff to test out and make some videos of, and I do appreciate that. And obviously, for my personal use, I have a set of this armor as well in one of their plate carriers that I keep for my personal use. I mean, you never know. I don't wear it to work. I don't wear it to the grocery store. It's good to have. I've also never had to shoot my gun in self-defense, but it's good to have. Guys, this is the new studio. I've done a lot of, I did not frame it, and I did not roof it, and I did not put the plywood on it. I had a crew come in here and black it in for me. But I have done everything else. You can tell by the crappy wiring, I did that. I'm not an electrician. But I drilled all those holes and I ran all that 12-2 wire. I'm about to run another piece of 12-2 wire when I get off of this live stream. That's gonna fit my AC unit over here. So I'll have my split unit over here on the wall. And yeah, this is gonna be nice. After I get that wire run from my AC unit, I will tape off these boxes here, all these electrical boxes, pull those wires back through them. And I believe next week I'm spraying foam and insulation in here. The reason why I'm doing all this is the hurricane destroyed my last shop. If you guys will remember, it was almost a year ago. August the 27th of last year, Hurricane Laura hit, tore up my house and tore up all of South Louisiana and pushed this wall in on my shop. And I fought with the insurance company, and I finally got this shop to where they would let me tear it down. And I literally pulled it down with, I knocked some of the 2x4s out of the walls, some of the studs on the corner behind me. Actually, this whole corner behind me, I knocked all those out with a sledgehammer and hooked a strap up to the top of the ceiling and just pulled the whole thing down. Took it apart, brought it to the road, and then rebuilt this one. This one is being built much stricter code. I've got hurricane straps up there at the top where my rafters meet the walls, and also by spraying the foam insulation in, it's not the torn up newspaper like you might have in some houses. My house actually has the blown in insulation, but it's like the recycled newspapers that they put in there. This is actually going to be the foam insulation. They've come a long way since I built my house. The foam insulation actually will increase your wind rating. Your insurance company will give you a better rate on your insurance just because you're using foam insulation, because it does harden it up that much. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to foam this entire thing, the ceiling, the walls, and all that. So this is going to be a pretty strong structure. In fact, my lag bolts, or my bolts that are in my bottom plate coming through the concrete, I'll have to take some pictures and put them out there. But they're 5/8 inch bolts that I have coming through my slab into my bottom plate, 5/8 inch bolts. So this thing ain't going nowhere. If we get another hurricane, which they're saying we're going to have a more active hurricane season this year, this is probably where I'll be broadcasting from. That's why I'm seriously trying to hurry up to get a lot of this stuff done before hurricane season gets in full bore, because I don't want this thing to be half built. I want it to be completely spray foamed in to where it has its ultimate strength if another hurricane hits, because this might be where I'm hanging out at. Not that I doubt my house. My house withstood 2 Category 4 hurricanes so far. So I do think my house is well built to be able to withstand it. It did take my shingles off of my roof. My roof stayed intact, but it ripped every shingle and all the felt off of my roof. The last one did, last August. Just roofing is all I had to replace, and windows, replace some windows. But anyway, guys, it feels good to be able to do some of the live streaming again. I miss this. I'm excited that I can do this now. I will say that my friends with Courage CBD, and my friends with the Advanced Warrior Solutions bags and the Dirty Boar cleaner, they're who's going to make this a lot more, I guess, palatable for me. Those guys are helping fund the project to where I can get out here and do this more. When you work for yourself like I do, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do, when you do things where you're not making money, you're not making money. And sometimes when people come along to help you out and say, look, we want you to do this, like the Courage CBD and like Dirty Boar and Advanced Warrior Solutions, hey, we want you to do the live streams. What can we do to make that happen? It feels good to have that, because now if I'm sitting here making these live streams and talking about a lot of the current events that's going on out there and visiting with you guys, which I'm super excited to do, and I love doing that on Friday nights. Now I don't have to think I need to hurry up and do this so I can go work, because I got to go make some money. I'm going to be putting a video out very soon on how this industry has changed. I see a lot of people out there that are kind of ragging on a lot of the influencers out there. Not me, I don't get a lot of it because, guys, quite frankly, I don't have a lot of relationships with companies. I'm fortunate enough that this is not what I do for a living. I make a good living doing the other stuff that I do. So I don't rely on YouTube videos to pay my bills. But there's some guys out there that are really good at this and they do it for a living. And I see a lot of people ragging on them and giving them a hard time whenever they're talking about a certain product, whether it be lubricant or whether it be CBD or something like that. I see them, oh, there's shills for this, shills for that. Look, guys, they got to make a living. YouTube is making it so hard for people to make any money these days. If you're in the gun industry, they've taken almost any opportunity of making money off the table. They've demonetized videos. In some cases, they've completely taken channels away. They're doing the same thing on Instagram, so you don't have much of a reach over there. So a lot of these guys, this is their livelihood. This is how they put food on the table. Look, as long as they're being honest about it and not lying about it, what's wrong with that? If a guy says, hey, Palmetto State, which I say that because I'm about to do a video, Palmetto State sent me 2 guns. I've never held a Palmetto State rifle before. I'm going to now. If a guy says, Palmetto State sent me these 2 guns and I'm going to do a review on them, and if he says some nice things about them, so what? My wife's walking in here. So if you have that where somebody's doing something like that, that's not a bad thing. It's not bad that you have a guy that's making an honest living and being honest with you about that. Now, if a guy is getting free stuff and he's trying to be a little bit deceitful about it and making it sound like everything that person gives you is just the greatest thing in the world, but they don't disclose that they either have a relationship with that company or something like that, honest. Most of these guys out there are very, very clear about what they're doing. They're very honest about it. They're going to tell you, hey, this is something that so-and-so sent me. Thank you for sending this. Here's my review. Or they may not even be a review. It may be like what I just did and say, hey, this is some CLP cleaner that I use. Big fan of it. Stuff works. These guys are good partners of mine. Thanks for using them. Go check them out. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how a lot of these guys, including me, when I get money for stuff like this, that allows me, I keep money in a totally separate area for my gun stuff. That allows me to take that money and roll it and do other gun stuff. Go buy the next new gun. Go buy the next new ammunition. The next good optic, something like that. You know, I'm not as big as some of those guys out there, so I don't get rained on with all this brand new stuff. Whenever Smith & Wesson or somebody else comes out with a brand new gun, it ain't sitting on my front door. So in many cases, if I want it, I have to go buy it. So I have to figure out a way to make money to purchase some of these things. A lot of these guys are no different. They may not have a relationship with every single company out there. A lot of them do. The bigger guys do. There's some big guys out there that, you know, that they probably have showrooms full of new guns that they have to go do stuff for. I don't have a problem with that. That's a beautiful thing. You know, I'm not jealous of them. I'm envious of them, but I'm not jealous of them because they've worked hard to get to where they are, and it's great that they can do that. So I guess what I'm saying is the video that I'm going to put out, I just want people to understand that the culture in the gun industry is having to change a little bit. And there's no harm in a guy trying to make money or partnering up with somebody as long as he's being truthful about it. And I think that's probably the biggest thing. People don't like to be, nobody likes to be lied. No one likes that. So if we just acknowledge that the days of the old YouTube videos, that's over with. You know, you're not having a guy out there banging out big bucks anymore on YouTube. I'm sure they're still making good money, but not the kind of money they were making before. You know, not the kind of money that a kid unwrapping or unboxing toys every week might be making. You know, these guys are going out there spending thousands of dollars on firearms and all kinds of other stuff, not to mention ammunition, range memberships and all that. You know, and they're going out there getting, you know, a couple of $100 off of a YouTube video. And that's not good business. Whether you like it or not, I don't care how much you enjoy the firearm industry, you can't succeed or survive for very long like that. So I just want people to understand, don't fault people for doing what they have to do to be able to stay in this industry so that they can continue doing the things they're doing. Now, again, if they're being deceitful about it, let them have it. You know, I don't think that there's not room in this industry for people who are being deceitful and lying about it. So look for that video. Hopefully in the next few weeks I'll have that. And it'll kind of explain how the industry has evolved a little bit and why people are having to do the things they're doing in order to do that. What's funny is, let me tell you this story real quick. Sip at my beer. Me and two of my buddies, I love music. I love listening to music, playing music. I play instruments. I'm not good at it, but I play it. Two of my friends who were both in other successful bands, but their music, like just like we are on guns, they're like that with music equipment, especially guitars, effects pedals, and things like that. We're kind of putting together, we're putting together a YouTube page, a YouTube channel that us three are going to do. We'll review new albums that come out, gear. They've both got vintage guitars from the 50s, 70s, 80s, of course. So we're going to be doing some cool stuff on that. Well, one of my friends sent the other two of us a screenshot, and it was so interesting to read. I wish I could pull it right now, but I'm running this on my phone. I'll paraphrase here, but what it essentially said was, he used to get endorsements, and I guess this was to him. I don't know if this was to him or another, professional musician, but the email came from a company that provided music gear. I think it might have been effects pedals or something like that. And they said that that they weren't really giving out equipment to touring musicians anymore, because with a touring musician, the pedal just sat on the stage and people could rarely see it, so they didn't feel like they got a lot of mileage out of that. But they told him in the same email, and it was so funny to read it, it said, but if you want to make videos, or if you want to just post a picture of it on Instagram, we'll be glad to send it to you. So this is a company now more willing to send a free product to a guy who don't even have a following yet. They were asking him or telling him, you really should start up a channel. And if you do, we'd be happy to send you whatever you want. So they were basically saying that a touring musician, somebody that's on the road, seeing hundreds and thousands of people out there, that, yeah, we're not really interested in sending that to you because nobody really sees that pedal on stage. But if you want to take a picture of it, standing next to you or whatever, and post it on your Instagram or your Facebook page, we'd be happy to send stuff to you. That goes to show you how things have changed. You know, it's weird for me to, I've seen that shift because I'm in the middle of it, not on the music side, but in the social media side. But it was interesting to see a business come right out and acknowledge that and say that their business model had kind of changed, that now they weren't necessarily looking for professional musicians. It could be just any guy as long as he's posting pictures of himself with it. So it's just weird to see that dynamic of how things have changed in the industry, in all industries, in every industry out there. These companies are willing to just send free stuff out there just to get pictures of it passed around third-party wise on Instagram and Facebook or wherever. Guys, I'm going to bug at it. I'm seriously, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm not feeling the beer. I've been sweating so much this afternoon working in here. I want a Gatorade or a water. That was my first beer and my last beer. I haven't even finished that one. I'm going to go cool off. I might jump in the pool. I'm hot. I'm stinky. The flies, I stink so bad the flies stopped flying around me. The flies have now left. They were here earlier. They've had enough. That's how bad it's gotten in here. Guys, I'm excited to show you the rest of this whenever we finally finish it. Again, I hope to do the foam insulation in the studio in the next week. And once that happens, I'll start working on the walls, doing some stuff like that, and it'll be just kind of a work in progress. So folks, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for hanging in with me. Again, I want to thank the guys over at Advanced Warrior Solutions and Dirty Boar, Lube, CLP. Those guys really, I love the product. I use their product. And certainly I want to thank definitely the guys over at Courage CBD. I'm excited to get started working with these guys. My joints are definitely happy to know that I'm still going to have my steady flow of CBD to take that inflammation down in my tendons in my arms. So guys, have a super great weekend. If you are drinking, like I always say, guys, please do not drive. Please get a designated driver unless you're at home. If you're at home, you're having a good time, drinking a beer or a drink or whatever you're drinking by yourself or at your house, great. Again, if you get out, go anywhere, please get a driver, guys. I want to see you guys back here the next time. I'm hoping next Friday I'll be back. Can't guarantee that, but I'm hoping I will. I will say this ahead of time. I will be live all 3 days at the NRA show from the Advanced Warrior Solutions booth in Houston, Texas on, let's see, September 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The 3rd is a Friday. Obviously, the 4th is a Saturday, and Sunday's the 5th. I will be live streaming from there. But if you happen to get out and you're over there, please come by the Advanced Warrior Solutions booth. I would love to see you. Again, I'm getting a lot of my Metallica themed t-shirts for as long as they last. I'm going to give those out. I'll have patches, decals. So if you get a chance, guys, please come. One last thing. YouTube has been jacking with a lot of us guys that have like a few more subscribers. And what I mean by that is, I'm not trying to talk down on anybody. I have 260 something thousand subscribers. That's a good bit of subscribers, right? Guys, I've been stuck at that number for probably 2 or 3 months now. And I've talked to some YouTube guys that are much bigger than me, and they're stuck at their same numbers. We can actually go back and look at analytics, and there's days where we lose subscribers. I cannot put a video out for a whole week, and there's one day during that week that I'll lose subscribers. The next day, there'll be 800 subscribers that I'll get. 2 days later, I'll lose 200. Doesn't make sense. I don't know how that happens. I don't have fake subscribers. I don't buy subscribers, so there's no reason for me to lose big chunks of subscribers all at once. I really doubt 200 people all at once decided that they dislike me and stopped looking at my videos. A lot of the other guys, I watch them post analytics on their stuff too. Same things are happening. My point to you is, if you guys have a chance to share with a family member or a friend, co-workers, whatever, to follow us, not just me, but any YouTube guys that you follow, please ask them to subscribe to us, because with those numbers being taken away, a lot of what we do, we can do because of the amount of subscribers that we have. In other words, even YouTube sometimes will give you leeway, like the big guys out there, not me, but the guys with, 300,000-400,000 or 1 million subscribers, they have a little bit of stroke. So when they have an issue with YouTube, YouTube is usually going to talk to them. As YouTube continues to knock our subscribers down, the more they are able to eliminate subscribers of ours, the less power that we have, the less pull that we have. We're going to lose any kind of influence that we have whenever we talk to them, and we need them to do something for us. So all I'm asking is, if you have an opportunity, whether it's me or any of your other favorite YouTube guys that you follow, and it doesn't matter what genre it is, it doesn't have to be just guns, but guns are the ones that are getting jacked with the most. So if you follow somebody and you like them, share that with your Facebook, your Instagram, email friends or whatever, and just share that out there and let them know, hey guys, if you get a chance, go follow this guy and subscribe to him. That's a big help. I really am wanting to get over that 300,000 mark, and I thought I would get there in no time, because once I hit 200,000 subscribers, I hit 250,000 in a matter of months. And now it's like I'm treading water right here. It's like I'm stuck in mud. So I know they're playing games. So, I don't know. Anything you guys do, I would appreciate. I'm not asking you to go out there and sell my wares for me. It's just that I know that many of us on this side in the industry are getting jacked with, and anything you all can do is certainly a big help, and I know we all appreciate it. Folks, have a great weekend. If you go to the range, please be careful. The last thing we need to do is give the anti-gun movement any kind of reason to hate on us or act like we're unsafe. Go be safe. Teach a young kid how to shoot a gun. Bring an old person out to shoot a gun if you get a chance. Old people still like to shoot. They just don't like to go alone. If you get an opportunity and you know an older person who used to like guns, they probably still like guns. Maybe ask them if they want to take a ride to the range. They may not even want to shoot. They may want to smell that gunpowder. We like it, don't we? So invite an old person. invite a grandfather, or a great uncle, or something like that. I'll bet you'll be surprised. They'll say, yep, I'd like to tag along. Guys, have a great weekend. Thanks again for hanging out. I'm hoping to be here next Friday. We'll see you then.